Hello, YouTube and Rumble. This is Intuitive Retta. How are you today? Don't mind that you haven't seen me in a while. It's because I've been in a lot of pain and now I've kind of lost feeling and everything in my right hand. And they told me, the doctors have told me for years that I was going to start losing some of my range of motion and stuff in my right side. But, you know, I was like, I wasn't really paying attention to it because it's been years and, you know, but it snowed here like 3, which is weird here in New York. We really haven't had any snow. I've only had to shovel once, and the snow was heavy. This happened like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, and maybe 3 weeks ago. And ever since that snowstorm and me out there shoveling, I've been messed up. So don't mind. They have this here for a couple of things to keep my hand immobile because I can't feel it. And also I remember that, hey, you can't really feel your hand. Kind of like a reminder not to like cut my finger off or something because I can't really feel it. Second of it is trying to like ease the nerves and hopefully, you know, not move them around so much. So shuffling and stuff is going to be funny. So we're going to go, I want to go into this whole Project Veritas and James Okeefe. And then I also want to look back at Nordstrom. So I'm going to try to do another read-in, seeing how this goes on Nordstrom. Because my last reading said America had something to do with, I mean, not America, Russia had something to do with it. And now it's coming out as America. So I want to understand what was really going on with it and get a kind of in-depth look at what was going on with it, because other things have come out in regards to, I'll talk about it with them. But James Okeefe, it came out that they're basically trying to oust James Okeefe from Project Veritas. And it's interesting because James Okeefe is Project Veritas. And I don't know if it could survive without James Okeefe, right? So first we're going to look at the organization was established in like 2011 in April. And so those are the dates that I had. So it's telling me that when it was incepted, it's the strength and the star. So the energy around that company is to constantly overcome. That they're going to meet many struggles. That it's going to be a constant like ebb and flow, you know, constantly overcoming. The spotlight is going to be on them, but they're gonna, you know, it's a organization of overcoming, you know, and adversity. And this year is its high priestess year. So this year, the energy around it is like its high priestess, its soul, basically the soul of this company. So we have to look at it too, because James Okeefe is a high priestess. So it's interesting how in 2023 is the high priestess year for Project Veritas as a company, but it's also James Okeefe's birth cards. And I always say men that have a feminine energy, there is some struggles in that, right? So he's the high priestess. So I always say how they have a high moral standing, but it's their own personal moral standing. Like President Biden, they have a high, you know, they can really be someone that can, they could have been a preacher or priestess or anything like that. They have this internal, you know, push in the spirituality, right? And it just because it's their own kind of moral code, their own justice, you know, what they feel is right and wrong. It could not be what we feel is right and wrong. It's their own personal right and wrong or morality, right? And they're constantly, you know, they're like a vessel. So I'll go back to Biden. He's a vessel. So is it a vessel for good or a vessel for bad? You know, he's kind of like lights out, nobody's home cognitively, but the energy around him, it can be used, it can be manipulated, right? It can be harnessed. That's James, right? So, but also with men that have the feminine energy, it goes back to, you know, they have issues. They can be quick if they don't understand that, hey, it's okay, I was just born with feminine energy. Doesn't negate my masculinity, doesn't negate my manliness. But some men don't understand that it's just your energy. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't make you. So sometimes they go to the extreme, where they have to be macho men. Very aggressive sometimes. Masculine 10 times. Because they have to prove themselves. But at the same time, they have that feminine energy where they want to be coddled and loved and petted and adored and all this. So this year is 2023. It's this terrifying year. So this is the organization year. This is law and order. This could be legal issues. This could be organization. This could be also temperance is involved. Is he having some emotional issues? Is he drinking too much this year? It's a lot of things. So I want to understand. Oh my God. How am I gonna? I'm in slow motion. So when I always do these birth cards, it just kind of gives you a kind of, when I do these numerology and the birth cards, it kind of gives you a more insight into the person and what they may be struggling with before we do the reading. So we can kind of interpretate their internal, external strengths and weaknesses with the cards. So, this is going to be a mess. Okay, trying to... Oops, I want this. Oh, okay. Oh, my struggle session with this thing. I want to see the energy around. Because they're basically ousting them. You know? They're trying to oust him. And next year, I'm worried next year is his Lovers and Devil. And I'm worried about vices he may have, sex next year, women next year, his bad habits come into play. So hopefully before next year comes, we can fix this. He can organize these things. So energy around Okeefe right now is bold. So he's still feeling bold. He's kind of strutting his feathers. He's feeling bold. And also, he doesn't feel appreciated. So he's feeling bold, and he feels that he is not appreciated. Maybe from his company, this and that. He kind of feels he's made himself vulnerable, right? And the spotlight is constantly on him, but and everybody else is kind of shielded by him. So he feels like, I've shielded you guys. I've taken on the blunt of everything. And it's made me vulnerable. But you guys don't appreciate that. You know, you don't appreciate me being the spotlight and everything shined on me. And I've kind of protected you guys, kept you guys in the dark, and I'm taking the hits on, and I've become vulnerable, but you don't appreciate it, right? So I want to see what Project Veritas feels about what's going on right now in his company. He feels it's about money. So right now, he feels it's about money, it's about control, it's about a lot of physical things. So he feels like right now, in this second, it's about money, physical things, this and that. Right? What's the cross to bear with that? It's groups working together, basically. He feels that someone's working together. There's a partnership or something that is trying to take control of the money, the physical things, and all this, right? And he's emotional right now. He's kind of pissed. He's emotional. He's kind of pissed. He's kind of maybe acted out when he's seen this or known this and seen it. He's been acting out on his emotions. I'm worried about hopefully he doesn't drink. I'm also worried about, is he drinking more? I seen in the article, I didn't get too much into it, but I seen that maybe there was a drug overdose in his. I've heard that a lot of newscasters and people in the news are a lot of alcoholics and a lot of drug abusers in the news industry. So it doesn't, make me, my side eye when I heard there was a overdose in Project Veritas. Hopefully that person was okay, or drinking. But I'm seeing that there also may be an emotional outburst and maybe some immaturity, and so forth. Let's see. In the last year, it's been having to overcome a lot, especially in the last year. But as I said, the strength in the star is Project Veritas. Its energy, when they incorporated it with, was the energy of overcoming constant struggles, constant battles, overcoming, and facing the problem head on, right? So in the last year, I guess it's been like that. Let's see. What's on Keefe's mind? He feels like he's in this by himself. Remember I said he doesn't feel appreciated. He feels like he's taking the hits. He's taking this. He's in the spotlight. He's shined everything on him, made him vulnerable, and he's kind of like shielded everybody else. And he feels like he is by himself, like he is this person that is looking out over everybody else. And, he has this different perspective. He's on his own. But with the Hermit comes the Moon, which could be drinking, could be emotional things, stuff like that could be going on, right? 10 of Buckets. It's a straw hat. So maybe Project Veritas in its exception, right, and how it was organized was a straw house, right? That at the time when he maybe made Project Veritas, he was like, it's about 10 years ago. It's more than that, yeah, because we're in 2000, maybe it says 2011, so maybe like 12, so like 10 years. He looked at Project Veritas, maybe in the start, the people that were around him were family, or like he treated like family. It was an emotional kind of organization, right? And maybe it wasn't structured right. And it's telling me that the structure of Project Veritas was a straw hat, a straw house, meaning like the wolf could come and blow it down. It wasn't built on a firm foundation. It was built on maybe 11 years ago. It was built differently. It was more of an emotional built. Like the company was built emotionally. Maybe they never even thought they would be here 10 years later. They just had this passion. Whoever surrounded him, he built this company with back then, or the inception of this company, or the people he brought in this company. When they built it, maybe is different than where it went now. It was built on, we want a passion, family, and this and that, blood, sweat, and tears. But it was a family type atmosphere, feeling that you guys are not only my co-workers, we're family, we're in this together, emotions are running high, we have this high passion. But that's a straw hat, because people come and go, new people. You can't bring in the old family style with new people coming in. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody that you hire is family. Not every person that you bring in has the same passion or work ethic or desire that you have. So I think it was built on a straw house. And I think that's a lot of companies. I think a lot of companies in the beginning, you're so like happy and you just want to, go forward steam. You don't really look into how you build your company, whether it's a corporate, a non-profit, or it's you know, a LLC with partners, you don't look into it. And that's why a lot of books, because I studied business, you know, always tell you in the beginning, you know, don't hire good lawyers because you can write them off. Like you can, it's a tax write-off. So that's why business always has good lawyers, good financial. It's always in the beginning, you know, get the good advice. And because it's your protection in the beginning. It's how you can protect yourself. I don't think that maybe that was James's first thought. I think he just was excited, passionate, trying to open up this organization, wanting to do the work, wanting to go out there and, you know, do journalism. And maybe he didn't really understand the business sense, and he built the company on a straw hat. All right. And right now, it's a lot of emotions. So it's also feeling like he has a lot of people. He has a lot of people that will stand with him. So the Nine of Cups is also about like dreams fulfilled and this and that. He has a lot of people that are surrounding him that are willing to take the hits. So even though he feels like he's by himself and he feels like he doesn't realize he has a lot of people that want to protect him at all costs, right? They want to shut him up. They're trying to shut him up. So there's a concerted effort to ruin him, to shut him up. They want to silence his voice, right? They want to silence his voice and his thoughts. So they want to silence his voice and his thoughts. I'm seeing that, and that's coming up in the near future. So I heard that they have him on leave. They're trying to kill him. They're trying to kill him. Not kill him like per se kill him, but kill James Okeefe. They're trying to silence him. This is like an intellectual mind war that they're placing on James Okeefe, right? And they are I feel like James had the weight of this company, of everybody on him, right? And he's only a man. It's like he felt, remember I said he felt that he was in it by himself. He feels that he was, you know, underappreciated. He feels like everything was on him. The burden is on him. Everything was on him, right? And he's feeling like they want to shut him up. They want to shut down his thoughts and his ideas. They want to shut him up, and they want to put the burden, everything on him. Everything. And it's a heavy burden, right? And they want to end it. And I think it had a lot to do with the relationships he built in his organization, his relationships. I think they placated him for a while. They kind of like, gave him like a false sense of security or whatever. But they have been a lot of they kind of made him a fool or a clown, right? They felt that they could placate him and, rub his ego a little bit, because he has that, high priestess energy. He has that feminine energy. He would suit well to someone rubbing his ego out, right? So, let's see. How many more minutes we have? All right, let's look at Project Veritas. The company. All right. Project Veritas, the energy around the company. Desire. kindred spirits. So it attracted kindred spirits, right? But there's a lot of desire going on. There's a lot of covetance. People wanted to covet Project Veritas, right? A lot of people wanted to covet. But it did he did attract a lot of kindred spirits. Kindred people. That kind of think like him, feel like that. That company kind of attracted these type of people. It's a show. It's at the end of this show. So this was like this grand experiment. And right now it's at a pivotal time. Is it the end of this show, right? Is it the end? Or is it just the beginning? Cross the bear. There's going to be a lot of pain and heartache. So where they are, the end, whether it's the new beginning or end, it comes from a place of pain and heartache. Both mentally, physically, spiritually, a lot of pain. Underneath it is the partners. The partners. The relationships. The partners. So what led up to a lot of this pain and stuff like this in this show was the partners, was these relationships built. I want to get more into that. And remember how I said in the last year for Veritas it was about like overcoming, you know? The last year of this is trying to get something back that once was. Remember how I said that Project Veritas as the company was built on a straw house emotionally. It was built like when you first, you know, come together, you have all these desires and your hopes and dreams, and you don't really think about the business aspect and how can someone, you're always supposed to go into like a marriage, it's sad to say, or a business, like what happens when it ends. Most people don't think like that, you know, how they don't think about the ending because it's just trying to begin. They can't think that far ahead. So it's trying to, the business itself is trying to remember what it once was, trying to get that energy of what it once was in the last year, right? There's a lot of force coming into this, like people are trying to force things and damn the consequences, right? So it could be these partners. And it's like one force is trying to go one way and another force, and maybe this is Okeefe, because this is a single rider, right? Whereas this is like a lot of force and money and everything behind them might be the organization, the board members. They're bumping heads. They're bumping heads on where the money goes, what's going on financially. In one way, James Okeefe is like, the numbers aren't making sense. You know what I'm saying? The numbers aren't making sense and they're bumping heads, but the board is like, we're ready to blow everything up. Damn the consequences. And he's like more by himself, right? So they're coming in with the energy of force. And with the chariot is the tower. So they're coming in with force. They feel like, okay, if we blow it all up and everything crumbles, we can come from the ashes, but sometimes you can't, right? And it's their business relationship. Can these two people on top of Project Veritas, these two groups, can they work together? And I don't think so. Can they work together? I don't think so, because one is kind of constricting the other. Their movements, their thought process. Remember I said that they're trying to stop Okeefe's thought process, what's on his mind. They're trying to shut him up and stop his thoughts, right? And they've kind of like pigeonholed him and constricted him. And that's why it's not going to work, right? So let's see in the company in the future. There's a lot of there's someone mysterious going behind. There's not everybody in this corporation is for James or for Project Veritas. Project Veritas, right? There's a mysterious force behind it, right? And maybe James was too busy. This is blinders, right? He was too busy maybe taking care of the news and taking care of of what was like in front of him, like the news, these doing what he does. He's a newsman, maybe not so much a businessman. Maybe he was too busy doing what was in front of him that he didn't see what was going on the outskirts, what these people, these forces were doing on the outside, what this mysterious things that were going on, these background deals and, you know, these shady shit were going on. He didn't know it. He didn't know it. He didn't know it until maybe it was too late. He had a feeling, because he is the high priestess. He's very intuitive, right? He's very intuitive. So maybe he felt it. He felt something was coming. Maybe he felt that these people weren't right. But maybe it was a little bit too late. And there's a guy who's really behind this. There's a guy that's really behind this, aggressive. I don't even think he likes James Okeefe. There's a lot of aggression. So James Okeefe is basically, he's the high priestess. He leads with his emotions. He built this company on his emotions, right? And it's like his kid. It's like he's emotionally attached to this, right? And this person is aggressive. I am the boss. You do what I say. This and that. Let's see what time. Oh, I don't want to lose out. Let's see. What is the outcome for James Okeefe in regards to Project Veritas? And what's up with what's outcome for Project Veritas? So James Okeefe, he's going to start acting up. They're going to be fighting for dominion over this company. They're also going to probably say that, I have a feeling that they're going to say that James Okeefe was very sexual. Maybe they're going to kind of accuse him of being greedy or taking funds. They're going to say that. They're going to say he was aggressive. They're going to say that maybe he had some inappropriate relationships. They're going to say this and that. And they're going to maybe say that he was gluttonous. He was trying to keep all the money for himself. That he's greedy. And that he wanted full dominion over that, right? Project Veritas. He's got to watch out. There's a force behind everything that's going on. There's going to be... It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight. And it's going to be a fight. And even though if they make it through all this, and then if it bring... Because James Okeefe is the build... Is it? There's already someone that has bad intentions behind all of this. The puppet master, right? We see it everywhere. The puppet master, right? Maybe he was a high donor or whoever, right? It's going to cause internal strife in regards of the money, in regards of where it's going. It's going to be a big fight. It's going to be a big fight. What is going on? Let's see. They're trying to ruin him. They're trying to end him. And maybe this stuff will come out that will end him. So maybe they're going to start talking about he was stealing money, or he was gluttonous, or whatever, and his sexuality and how he was aggressive and this and that. He feels it. He feels that this is what's coming. They're trying to ruin him. They're trying to shut him up for good. They're trying to... Mind you, remember Breitbart? He was, Breitbart's... he learned under Andrew Breitbart. They killed Breitbart, right? So, they are trying to ruin him. And I'm worried because is he drinking too much? Has he drunk too much? This year for him isn't a good year. This is a moment for him of the organization of law coming down on him, of imbalance, right? That guy is behind it. This guy is trying to ruin him. What's in the future? Let me just see. A lot of burdens. I don't know if they can. I don't know. It's gonna be a hard go for Project Veritas going forward. If you guys have any other questions or look at it from a different perspective, that I should look into different things. This was just the initial thing. I wanted to see what's going on, but their main point is to ruin him, to ruin James Okeefe. Talk to you guys later. Bye.